Hello everybody, welcome back to LilyLuLou. My name's Karen, the Junk Journal Geek. Sorry, I pressed record as I was sipping my coffee, picking up my coffee to sip, so sorry about that. Right, I'm back today to try and work through some more of the rubbish that I've collected together while I've been sorting out my craft room. And I've got quite a lot of sort of strips of paper here that have been, you know, when you cut the edges off of a digi, or when you're cutting something out, you often have a little bit of, you know, a strip of something left over. So I thought some of these I could make into maybe page edges, or you know, decorative pieces that will be stuck down on one side you can use as a little tuck spot, that sort of thing. So I thought I'd just come on and see what I could do with some of these. I mean, some of this, like this one, that could be used to make an altered paper clip. So yeah, I just thought I'd come on and I was excuse me, I'm still coughing. I was going to sit down and have a play today, so I just thought I would turn the camera on and you could join me. So I'm going to start by just sticking down leftover strips out of my, you know, the pile that I've still got next to me. If this is your first time visiting, bit of a random place to start, but I was poorly over December, and where I craft is one of my daughter's bedrooms. She doesn't live at home full time, she works away, so she only comes home once a month-ish. So I can't be, you know, properly, have my craft stuff out properly all the time, because I have to be able to turn it back into her bedroom when she's coming home. And I was poorly over December, and where we were getting ready for Christmas and, you know, all that sort of good stuff, everybody was using this room as a bit of a dumping ground. And I had started crafting at the beginning of December and then stopped because I was ill, and then we had to get the room put together for my daughter to come home. Consequently, it was a big mess in here and I could not work because it was just in too much of a mess. I don't mind a little bit of a mess, but it has to be an organised mess. So I did a bit of a tidying, cleaning session and got myself a bit organised. I've now got all these bits and pieces lying around everywhere that need sorting out. Sorry, I'm just looking for something to use as a glue book because I've just covered my glue mat with scraps. So let's get going. Yeah, so now I'm doing the last few videos I've done have been me doing stuff with all these bits I've collated together so that I can get rid of them. So I did a collage masterboard and then made some ephemera from that and decorated a few of those pieces. And then, as I say, I still had all these strips lying around here, so I thought I would I thought, oh, they would, you know, I had the idea that that's what I could do with these. So yeah, I thought I'd come on today and make a start. Now, I'm not going to necessarily decorate these fully, as in put on focal points and stuff like that, because if you have been here before, you know that's where I start overthinking things and I'm in an R-ing and don't get very far. And I will also be finishing these off after I finished on video today. I will be taking these pieces to the sewing machine probably, and oh, I've just put my lid back on my glue and now I can't get it off. stitching through them, which is why I'm using just a cheap old glue stick here. And I'm not worrying about, you know, these pieces are wider in some places than the strip. I'm not worrying about that, because if I want to use them as a tuck or something, I would want them a bit wider, and I may well back them with something, you know, to give them a bit of extra strength if I'm going to use them that way. So yeah, I'm just going to basically cover them up, and then I'll decide how I'm going to be using them later on. So I hope everybody is well. What are you all up to at the moment? What are you working on? Are you doing Junk Journal January? I'm not, because as you know, I failed miserably with my attempt at doing Memoranda, and I'm going to still catch up with that at some point. So, oh, that didn't work. I thought I could mop up that glue that was left on that little piece, but it didn't work. Yeah, so I will be revisiting Memoranda every now and then, probably once a week, to get that finished. So I thought I don't want to take on another challenge, particularly a daily challenge. I am doing, I did do the ephemera challenge that Claire at Purple Poppy Paper put up in her Facebook group. The video of that went up last week, I believe. And what else am I doing? Oh, I'm also joining in with the Journal of Stitchery this time. I used to do, basically all the crafts I did were needle crafts at one point for quite a long time, and then I found junk journaling, and that has overtaken my life in a good way. But I have missed stitching, and although I have used, you know, a little bit of stitching here and there in my junk journals, I wanted to get back to doing a bit of stitching, because I find I can sit and do that in the evenings, whereas paper crafting I'm not able to. I know some people do paper crafting in front of the telly. I can't do that. It just doesn't work for me. So, but stitching I can sit and do on the settee. You know, paper crafting I feel I have to be sitting up at the table. I'm not comfortable. Right, that's one strip of something. Let's do something with this paper clip one, shall we? So, although having said that, that might be one of the, this could be an issue where I start overthinking with the paper clip, but we'll start, and if I start umming and ahhing and overthinking it, I'll stop and do something else. Need another slurp of coffee. I'm coughing. I feel like I'm going to cough. I need to hurry up and drink that. It's going cold. So really, I would want I'm just looking to see if I have a piece that would work on that as it is. I've forgotten what I was saying now. Oh yes, the Journal of Stitchery. So the Journal of Stitchery is Rachel at Roxy Creations and her sister Sarah, and this is the third, I think they call it volumes, third volume, and it's Down the Garden Path. So I've made a start on that. I'm already behind because, again, I was overthinking it. I'm not going to do that because I'm looking for something to use. But basically, you'd put something over there to become an altered paper clip, but I will do that. If you haven't seen that before, I might do some of those on camera another day. Let's just do the strips because that's what we were here to do. yeah, so I was overthinking that because I haven't stitched for such a long time. I was sort of umming and ahhing. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And Rachel and Sarah are doing, they're doing like a scroll on, it's going to be on a bobbin, you know, a big old wooden bobbin, which is beautiful. But I don't have any bobbins, and I'm on a bit of a trying not to spend at the moment. So I didn't want to do that. And I couldn't decide what I wanted to do instead. So I think I have to, I decided I wanted to do a book. I was umming and ahhing between doing some sort of book and doing a wall hanging. But I decided I didn't want to do a wall hanging, so I am going to do a book. But then it was, do I do, you know, a normal book? But I liked the idea of a concertina book, you know, like an accordion fold, because I feel like it will unfold as you're walking down the garden path, and you can lay it all out to see the whole thing. So in my head, that goes with the prompt, you know, the down the garden path theme. But I couldn't work out exactly how I was going to make that work. So I was spending a long time umming and ahhing about that. And then I decided I don't need to worry about that until the thing's finished, because that's when it will be all put together. So I decided I'd just start. So I did just start, but then I couldn't decide on my background fabric, and I couldn't find, I'm sure that somewhere I have got some old embroidery books. I couldn't find those. They're probably still packed in the garage somewhere. And I was, you know, I was umming and ahhing about all these things. I did get out all my old, I used to go every week to a class. I've probably talked about this before on here, so I'll apologise if I'm repeating myself. But I used to go to a class, and I joined it because it was advertised as a patchwork and quilting class. And at the time I was making a quilt for my youngest daughter. And when I actually started the class, it was more of every week the teacher brought in something different for us to work, a different idea for us to work on. And it was purely optional. You could take your project, like I had started, by taking my quilt and working on that. But she also brought in different ideas every week to try different things, which was brilliant, because you know, sometimes trying new things is scary, isn't it? But doing it with other people makes it a bit easier. So of course I abandoned working on my quilt in the class then, because I didn't want to miss out on what everyone else was doing. So I learned quite a lot of different things going to that class. I absolutely loved it, but we moved away, and I haven't found anything similar anywhere else ever since. And I'm talking years and years and years ago. It must be 15 years. I'm talking when I went to this particular class. But I, excuse me, oh, excuse me, this silly cough. I still have in my big box of fabrics all my half-finished projects that I start, because obviously I never finished anything, because every week we started something else. So I've got quite a lot of unfinished projects, and I did decide that this year I was going to try and work through, if not all of them, at least some of them, and get some of them finished. And in there I had a piece of embroidery which was a lavender field, which I have shown previously on screen, not that long ago actually, and a sort of an not an abstract landscape, but more of a, actually it's here, my landscape right next to me, because I had it out. I'm trying to work out if I can incorporate these in my down the garden path, is basically what I'm saying. But this was one of the pieces I worked on in that class, and the other piece is, oh, that's here as well. This was my lavender field, so I'm hoping I can work these into the project at some point, because then that will be 2 unfinished items out of my box and incorporated in a piece of work. So I have finally got started this week on my piece, and I'm not 100% happy with the background, but I'm working on the assumption that by the time I've done all my stitching over it, got the embroidery done, I'll love it. That will solve that problem. And if I don't, I can always do another piece and replace it. So our prompt for the first one was wildflowers. So I've done sort of a background of blue fabrics at the top to represent the sky. They don't look like the sky, it's just, you know, a nod to the fact that the sky would be up at the top, and these are blue fabrics, but they don't by any stretch of the imagination look like sky. And then a couple of green fabrics, you know, for where the flowers are going to be growing. And then I've put on a piece of, when I made my Lord of the Rings journal, if anybody has watched that, I had some fabric that was like the map of the Lord of the Rings, the map that goes in the front of the book. Excuse me, I need more coffee. That's my coffee gone, so let's hope the cough's gone as well now. Yes, I've used a strip of that particular fabric because it's like a browny beigey colour as my path, and I'm hoping that with each on each piece that I do, I will have the path running you know, so I've got it going up the corner of the first piece, so then I'm going to sort of line it up for the next piece and go across, so that's running through the whole project. That's my idea at the moment. And although it's a map, again, I'm assuming that once I've embroidered, you won't actually be able to see that it's a map. It will just look like, you know, a brown piece of footpath. So that's what I've been doing this week. Well, this weekend really. I was busy in the week, but I've been working on that this weekend. What else has been happening? Not a lot really. That's about all my exciting news. I was on I spent yesterday morning on an online event, attending an online event for my day job. For those of you who don't know, I'm a utilities consultant, so I help people here in the UK keep their utility bills down, save them some money, which is very rewarding. And oops, my glue stick's falling apart. Very much needed at the moment. And we had our first event of the year yesterday, which was online. We've got a big proper event, not proper, but you know, an in-person event in April, but this was like a kick-off for the new year. Oh, for goodness sake, there's no point using the holder if it's going to keep falling out. Yeah, so that was really nice yesterday, quite motivating, and you know, you get to hear different people speaking who are working in the business, and you get different ideas. Very motivating, very uplifting. So that was yesterday morning. I've got a couple of appointments lined up for this week already. Tomorrow I will be taking my mum to hospital. She's got an appointment. So I've already got a few bits and pieces lined up for this week already. So all go in the Junk Journaling Geeks household. My youngest daughter is at uni. She's rehearsing for a show at the moment. She's going to be in Carrie the musical at her university. So I'm getting to hear a lot of Carrie music at the moment in the house because she's practicing and learning her lines and all sorts. Right, quite a few strips here. I could have joined these together to make a snippet roll, but I thought if I just do them this way, I can just, you know, store them flat in a folder. So we've done 4 there already. My strip pile hasn't gone down much, but at least I have something useful. And, you know, I know they don't look very exciting at the moment, but once I've decided where I'm using them and I've added on buttons or flowers or butterflies or what have you, they will look much better. There's a lot of Winnie the Pooh going on these. Left over from my daughter's journal. I seem to be picking up and using the same bits and pieces. Let's have something different. What else have we got here? Anything interesting? I'm not worrying about the shape of these, as I say, because I may well, you know, cut these down, snip bits off when I come to actually use them. So I did want to stick a bit of lace on these as well, but I'm just doing the paper bits first, and then I might stitch the lace on when I run them through the machine. I think that's probably the best thing to do. Come on, tear. Will that go there? This is just a piece of greaseproof paper. I won't try and remember where all these digis are from that I've been using. Oh, this silly cough is driving me mad. Don't want to rip that up. That's an actual piece of ephemera. Right, making a bit of a mess here. I've never seen that happen with a glue stick before, have you? Where the actual bit falls out. Very strange. Oh, I've gone all quiet. We've had quite a few issues with our car tyres lately. I don't know what's going on, but we had a slow puncture in one of our rear tyres. And then my husband went out this morning, about 5 o'clock this morning he went to work, and he messaged me to say that one of the front tyres was completely flat. And my husband's quite good at maintaining our car. You know, he's always on top of it. It's always regularly serviced, and the tyres are changed regularly, and he does look after our car. Don't clean it, but maintenance wise. So I don't quite know what's going on with our tyres at the moment, that we've got you know, issues like that just in the matter of a couple of weeks. Very strange. So I think that's going to be another job for this week, is going to get the tyres replaced, or valves, or whatever it is that is needed. Obviously something needs attention. Just stick that strip down the edge. Oh. Got a hair falling out, it's sticking to my work. I've got an urge to make a junk journal. I'm planning to make a junk journal with all of the bits and pieces I still have lying around, using the full pages. But I had a dream last night about a junk journal. That had lots of very pale green ribbons in it. Now, green is not my favourite colour, but there seems to be a lot of green going on in my work at the moment for some reason. It was a lovely green actually. I say I'm not keen on green, but this was a really nice pale green. Can't think of the right name for it. I know it's got a special name, but I can't think of it at the moment. So now I want to make a journal that is like that. I think that one is okay as it is. Right, where are we? Half an hour. Let's do one more. and then I will call it a day, and then the next time you see these will probably be when they're being used. But you may see them, you may see a picture pop up on Instagram. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, go and find me over there. LilyLuLou, the Junk Journal Geek. That's me on all my social media now, I think. Yeah, because I will, as I say, I will stitch these, probably add some lace or crochet trim or something as I'm stitching, and then they'll be ready to be used however I want to use them. So they might just be decorative edges on pages, especially if I have pages to use, you know, where the pages have printed the wrong size or bits and pieces like that, and you want to just cover the edge up. Or they may be tucks, or they may be something else completely. I don't know. Just have to wait and see. But they will be used as something somewhere. Just rummaging for more pieces. Anything, I don't want to rip into anything else. I want to use up little bits and pieces. Oh, there's one already done. Another piece of this. Oh, that's going to hide that little birdie. Let's pop that up the top to hide that white. Keep going quiet because I'm really desperately trying not to cough. I don't have to be talking all the time. You can see what I'm doing, can't you? And it's not exactly rocket science. Sticking bits of paper down. That's what we do at playgroup. I used to work in a playgroup. My favourite job was when I was on the Lego table. I used to love playing with the Lego. Done quite a lot of different jobs. You'll hear me talk about them all. You do though, don't you? When you have a family and you're bringing up small children, you do whatever fits around the family. So I've done all sorts of things. But I have to say, nothing has been as rewarding as what I'm doing now. So, oh look, we can use up some of the leftover pieces of the animals that we were using for Memoranda. Because it's lovely, the background of these. I'm going to save that for another piece because I don't want to cover up that little bird. Yeah, I'm in my job now, you know, when people realise how much money they can be saving and you can hear the relief in their voice, it's brilliant. I love it. So I just need a little tiny strip of something else down there. I must have some little tiny strip. Oh, there's a little tiny strip of greaseproof paper. Can I pick it up? Yes, I can. Can I glue it up? Yes, I can. So that's there. So we've got, go back in there, Mr. Glue Stick. Don't know what you're playing at. So that one I had already done something else. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces here. Let's get that out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 strips there. And I say they are a bit like snippet roll, but they're not on a roll, they're just snippets. So I'll leave that there for today. I'm going to go and play with my sewing machine now and put some other bits on here. And as I say, you may well see a picture go up on Instagram at some point of these when they're finished. So thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that little session. Obviously it wasn't anything very new or exciting, but we are slowly getting through our pile of rubbish. So that's what it's all about. So thank you for joining me today. I will be back again in another couple of days. In the meantime, enjoy your own crafty time. Take care. Bye bye.